Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Love and Law. My name is Virginia Warren. I am a lawyer and conflict alchemist and co-founder of the organisation called Lawyers for Love. At Lawyers for Love, we say that the legal system in its present form uses fear to solve problems, and we believe that a higher level of consciousness is required when we're solving a problem than that was used to create it. We say that level of consciousness is based in love. Love is of the essence. Love is of the essence consciousness, or Leo Tech is what we're calling it. Now, in these live broadcasts, what we're doing is we're showcasing lawyers globally who have brought their own special brand or own special way of bringing love into legal practice and sharing that with the world. Today, it gives me great pleasure to introduce the inimitable Stu Webb, one of my dear friends, and many of you know him already, but for those that you don't practice in the area of family law, Stu back in 1990 founded Collaborative Law, or what it's more commonly known today as collaborative practice. Today, he estimates that there are approximately 35,000 practitioners globally in 128 countries. Can you believe that? It's amazing. His recent work surrounds a concept called the serenity space, and we like to talk a little bit about non-duality. And in fact, in this interview, we're going to explore the roles of non-duality and love-based consciousness within the legal system. How can we bring it in? These changing times have revealed that there's a real potential to move from the vertical hierarchy to a more horizontal equality. Stu has to date had many amazing life experiences, from owning a drugstore all the way to serving in the Navy in the Korean War. Some of his experiences include bipolar disorder, meditation, and saxophone playing. Now, he has many other amazing experiences that you might want to read about further in the description below. So welcome to the show, Stu. It's so fantastic to have you here. Let's talk a little bit about what you think is the idea of non-duality. And for those that don't know what that is, can you explain it to us?
At first, I can't quite get over the illuminable. Illuminable, Stu Webb, my goodness.
Well, I had to think of a word for you that couldn't be matched by anybody else.
I never even hardly could pronounce that word.
Well, that's you and we're illuminating in your illuminary.
It's so
light.
beautiful to see you, Virginia. It's been so while since we've really connected, almost physically here.
Yeah.
Great. It's so exciting to talk to you about getting right directly to the subject, because it's so important that people know that it is possible, not only possible, but it's happening all the time, that we're becoming non-duality. We're becoming conscious. We're moving our consciousness from inside our bodies, where some of us think we're source, that we just do it ourselves.
In our brain.
Right, in our brain. It's so sad to think of people that are still caught up that way, but that's been our history. And the shift is what we're talking about. We're talking about a worldwide shift that starts with each individual being able to make this shift from moving what we think of consciousness, something we're doing to ourselves. And science has never been able to prove that or try to even figure it out. But moving that consciousness into being what basically is primary. Consciousness is primary. And as Virginia says in her Lawyers for Love, consciousness is love. Consciousness is love.
Yeah.
And we don't even know that. So by moving out from ourselves, what we think, that we become consciousness. We each become consciousness in our world.
And the funny thing is that people are using what they think is their brain as their knowledge. And particularly in legal practice, we're finding, aren't we, that we go to law school and we're learning all these beautiful skills and tools, but really we've got to get that part of us. It's only a part of us, and we've given that priority, haven't we?
That's right. And what we forget is we've all been thinking. It's all been in our thinking, thinking, and really it's a shift to our feeling.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that in a thinking way. I mean in a feeling way, which means we have to embed that feeling into our bodies.
Yeah.
And
It's the
we do that
embodiment.
by embedding love into our bodies. We can do this right this minute by closing your eyes, thinking of love, loving the person or loving everything in the world, and moving it from a thought to feel it in your body, feel it down to your toes, feel it, it's there. You can feel it there, and let it, and just stay there, with your eyes open. Slowly open your eyes and look at Virginia. Don't look at me. I have to tell you, I have my old mask on now because of the pandemic and stuff, So I will, show you more like what I really look like if I can figure where that is. Oh no!
I didn't see you're a white circle.
I guess I can't show
Maybe you
that
are.
No, it's too secret.
Okay, yeah, it's but, only for those that can see it will see it.
Yeah. But here's one thing I want to tell you. I want to tell all of you about this. The test of whether you are having your consciousness thinking it's coming from your brain or whether it's coming from beyond you. Take a look at whether you are in what we call duality. When you think your brain is sourcing it, you're in love and fear. Love, fear, love, fear, love, fear. We flash back and forth between those two. You can't hold love on that side, in that thing. You can't hold love there because you look at the news. Oh my God. We're into fear. We're into fear.
Yeah, I like to say when people are, we go to church or we do our yoga or our meditation and we come from this place of beautiful peace and then we get sucked right back into the fear matrix as soon as we watch that news or someone cuts you off in traffic or something happens because you haven't embodied the love yet.
Exactly. And when you embody the love, you don't have the duality anymore. You are in love. Now, I'm not talking about in the body. I'm not talking about romantic love. I'm not talking about hearts and flowers. I'm talking about a feeling of regard, a feeling of well-being, a feeling that is in the now.
Yes.
In the now.
Yeah.
Now, here's a trick for being in the now. Picture a big clock like you used to have in the schoolroom with a big second hand.
They used to go backward, didn't they?
The second hand goes around, not a clicking second hand, but a sweeping second hand.
Yeah.
Now, move that clock horizontal and climb on top of it. Big one, big clock. Climb on top of it and get on top of the second hand. And ride the second hand. Have you riding the second hand around the clock. Everything else is moving, but you are in the now.
Yeah, that's beautiful. I love that.
And that's
I
where we
haven't
get,
heard of that. I love that.
yeah, that's where we get
I
the,
haven't heard that. That's beautiful. I love that. Yeah.
that's where we
That's a,
get the Om from old
yeah,
Sanskrit.
yeah, yeah,
Om. We're on sitting
yeah,
on this. It's like happens when you're in the car, driving in the car. You see everything else is moving. You're sitting there by yourself.
yeah.
You don't
Yeah,
know.
yeah. It's so true because people don't realize that all you have is this now moment, don't you? And that life is one now moment after the next now moment. That's it. Full stop. There's nothing more. Nothing more.
It's not now, 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 now,
No,
now.
no, 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 no.
It's now.
Now. See, lawyers for love. We've come up because we needed a bit of a definition for love. We hadn't. We noticed that the legal system didn't have a definition for love. We have good faith and all those lovely other words and unconscionability and those lovely things. But we came up with a definition which says love is a state of being without fear, which operates for the highest good of all in each moment.
Yeah.
So it's like being the sun. This is what people don't understand. Love is like you are the sun, you are the light, and the clouds come by you. They're the little fears, and you sort of like move them across. You're always the love. You are always that love, but the fear kind of gets in the way of you seeing things.
And you can't really define love.
No, because we don't know it.
You pointed to it, but
Yeah, that's
you
right.
have to,
You are it.
you have to be it.
It.
You have to
That's
be
right.
it.
You are be it.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's
It's
like
not something outside there that you're getting, and this is what people are running for, to get this love, to find the love. I mean, that I think is our journey on the planet, is to try and find our way back to love, and that's what people are searching for. But when we stop and we say, "Oh, I am it. This is it here, right now," then it's a paradox. You don't need the love because you are the love.
That's right. It's like if you're a fish, you're swimming in love. You don't know that the water. You don't know you're in the water. You're just there. That's like I like for people that are concerned, and maybe a little caught up. Remember that I love this mantra. Acknowledge the waves. The waves are our concerns. The waves are our troubles. The way we think when we get, oh my God, acknowledge the waves, but stay in the ocean.
Yeah.
We are the ocean.
The ocean.
We are each the ocean, and we are the ocean of love.
Yeah, it's so
And
beautiful.
sometimes we think we're the waves. Sometimes we think it could even be a typhoon. My God, we could be in the typhoon, or we could just acknowledge, oh yeah, there's a wave there. There's a big wave there, you know.
Sometimes we like to throw ourselves against the rocks too. That doesn't do as much good either.
That's right.
Yeah.
I want to tell you, I have a lot of compassion for people who still think that their brain is doing it, and that's that's our neuroscience people. They think that they think that the brain is a creator, is a generator. It's a receiver. It's a receiver of energy.
Yes.
It's like if you have a computer and you don't have an operating system that runs it, you just think you're just the computer. But like a computer, you get the energy coming from outside. And that's where you find your mind is quiet. You're not going, Bubba, what of this, what of that, what, blah, 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 as they say. And I'm a Buddhist, so they talk about the monkey mind.
Yeah.
Monkey.
Chat.
So I was meditated for 20 some years, and I got a quiet mind, but I didn't know what to do with it. Because no one had told me, that's the love consciousness, we're talking about. Oh my God.
Yeah.
So it's
you get out of your own way. Yeah, you're out of your own way.
Yeah, so it's like waking up.
Yeah, that's it. So that's the funny thing is when we're looking at doing, we're in collaborative practice, for example, I see that there's a benefit in learning these techniques like serenity space and things like this so that you can hold the space for another. Because you don't get yourself involved in there, your energy. You hold the space, that loving space, and then with that loving space, the other's energy starts to match it because you're vibrating at that energy. And it's a magnificent thing to see. But there's a bit of training for some lawyers because, yes, we've been trained that this thing here is the powerhouse and knows what to do. Whereas, in fact, we've got to get this out of the way. It's a great tool. It's a great follower. It carries out the instructions of this, the heart center of the intuition, that energy for me, the love energy.
Virginia's hit it right on because what happens in collaborative is if the professionals remember it. Because I say there's two rules. You get out of the case if it doesn't settle. You don't want to sit there and say, hey, if the party's not going to agree to settle it, let them go. Let them fight it out. Yeah. Go get a brain surgeon, and but that's one rule. You get out if it doesn't settle. The other one is you hold the highest space you got when you're dealing with people in conflict.
Yeah.
Now, collaborative law is a microcosm of what we all should be doing in the world. Each one of us should be holding this highest space we can to help our planet survive and hope we can survive. If we get enough, some tipping point of people shifting into higher consciousness, there comes some point, we don't know how many people, maybe 5% of the people, 10%, something, who knows. There could be a shift, and we all of a sudden the whole world shifts into this higher consciousness.
Critical mass, that's what we need.
Heaven on earth.
Yeah.
Instead of thinking we're going to go to heaven someplace when we die, And that's another thing I want to say about. I feel sorry for people who are thinking it's coming from their brain, because they also think, my God, when I die, that's it.
Yeah.
If my brain is generating the love and I die, I'm done.
Yeah.
But what you discover when you feel yourself being this love all the time, that your life is eternal. And
and that brain, it creates the identity, doesn't it? It creates the identity of this thing here. And if I let that, people are afraid to let it go because I think that I lose my identity. I won't know who I am, particularly lawyers, because we've been trained to this identity as lawyer. It's a thing. Well, yes, it is a thing. You're not going to stop being a lawyer. You're just going to do it differently, and it's going to feel so much better.
Yeah. So I go back to a lot of my study. I've been a student of consciousness for a long time. So I know a lot about consciousness. I don't know anything about building a house or doing anything from carpentry. But somebody would be really good at that and could teach me that. And there's a lot of things in the world I don't know anything about. But the thing I do know about consciousness is it it's like, I'll tell you what it's like. I'm a jazz guy, you know. I love jazz music. I play the saxophone. Now, traditionally, musicians, when they play, they got the notes out here, and they're following the note. The notes are outside of you, and you're following the notes. Bubble, 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 bubble. For years, I'm playing the saxophone. I'm got to have a piece. Got to have something that's got the music in it. You know, that's the music outside. Jazz is you move the music inside, and you play it from the inside out. And that's the improvisation of jazz.
Improv, yeah.
So you can combine these two. You need both of them. We need the outside and the inside. It's like two sides of the coin. You got the heads and the tails in a coin, right?
Yeah.
You got to have both sides.
Yeah.
So,
and that's the thing, isn't it? You still have to appreciate there's both sides to this duality. There is a duality, and you can't have light without dark. You have to, while you're living on this planet, that's what it is, and accept it. Don't push it away. It's part of who we are.
Well, the other thing is, you know, you have to remember your social security number.
Yeah.
Okay, you have to remember not to walk in front of a bus, you know?
Yeah, that could help. Maybe. Who knows?
So you need both of these. And what we're really talking about is like a different, we're just opting for, there's an additional view you can have of your world. It's like, you know, a computer, you've got this little button up here that says view.
Yeah.
If you click the button view, you can see a list of stuff, or you can see symbols. So our consciousness, so one day I'm down here, we're right here now with Virginia. If we were saying, oh, we're just airy fair, we don't have to do anything, we wouldn't be here, you know?
No, that's right.
No,
you're so right. That's
gotta
exactly
have this
right.
practical stuff.
Yeah,
Somebody of Virginia knows somebody, and she can know how to connect this, you know?
Yeah.
Now, I just found out something today. I'm so terribly hard of hearing that Zoom now has closed captioning. You can do it. It's free. You can go down your list of stuff you can do on the Zoom, and you can, as a host, you can create closed captions. So I can read everything somebody says. Holy mackerel. That changes my mind on this basis.
Yeah.
So when I'm feeling in my love, and which by the way, I just love this person over here, in all sense of all those levels, you know. But that's another question. I forgot what I was going to say. So go ahead.
But we're talking about perspective as well. I mean, this is a really important part in legal practice, I think, is that one thing the system, and this is what Lawyers for Love are saying, the system says that there has to be a winner and a loser in a lot of situations in litigation. But there can't be, because you see, everyone's perspective is true for them. So that if your perspective from where you sit, you see a position and you say, well, I see this and this is right for me. Your other party sees it as right for them. So perspective is really valuable to start working with. Rather, stop looking at the other, look at the self and say, well, what is it about me that makes me react to this person? And then this is because life is your reaction to it. That's your experience. So why am I feeling so bad about that? What rule have I created for myself?
One of the things I feel, Virginia, is that there's a way that we, as speaking of the lawyers, or speaking like all healing professions, if they don't worry about trying to teach everybody else how to do this, they learn it themselves and they hold it themselves, and they can project it to everybody else. When I am love, let's face it, and so is Virginia. When I go to the checkout counter at the local grocery store, people light up people light up. I don't know I'm doing anything. I'm just there as love, and people all of a sudden they come up to me and start talking about something that none of my business.
Yeah. It has its downsides.
So I say that with collaborative law, my vision, my ultimate vision for collaborative law, but in lawyers in general, is that I like the idea of a team. You have the lawyer, you have a mental health coach, you have to find somebody that knows a lot about money, kind of stuff.
Yeah,
and sometimes if you got children, you got a child specialist there that can help them because the kids are so smart. I think from an incarnation standpoint, they're bringing the first team in, Virginia.
Oh yeah, absolutely. The kids now, they've got it going. They know what this consciousness is. They know it.
So anyway, I was thinking. So you tell the team, you're a team, and you're a team of people who are there to hold the space in addition to everything else you're doing to help them settle this. The outside stuff, the stuff, the methods and procedures and so forth. You can do that, but the main thing you're doing is holding this higher space at the same time. So, traditionally in litigation, that Virginia just mentioned, that I was a litigating lawyer for 20 years. I was a slow learner.
You got there in the end.
But in litigation, we were trained in law school. You bring your consciousness down to the law of the client, and you're fussing around with them. You know what that's like? If you've got kids and you're home with the kids, and the kids, let's say there's a couple of kids, and they start fighting. And Jimmy's peaching me, Mama. And as the mother, you're like the judge. You go, what's the matter? What is going on? You get your energy down there with the kids, and they're just so happy they got you playing the game. And if you just stay in your higher space and look at them and say, "What the heck is going on here?
What are you doing?"
and they see it's not working. They say, "Well, let's go play." Mom's not getting caught up.
But it is building on that and focusing on that negative energy and building that vortex of negative energy. It sucks everyone right into it. Like, what stick can I throw next? What bomb can I throw? Because mine will be bigger, and it swirls down and down until there's no coming out of it, until everyone hits rock bottom. And I think that's why the system has felt, and I know you moved to collaborative law because of the litigious nature, and I don't think it's resonated with you. So you created this beautiful alternative because, it's still going on. People are still operating in that fear space where it's once you're in, it's very hard to extract yourself from it. So it is, and there's no friends at the end of it, and it's so separating. It goes from Gandhi said, the true function of a lawyer is to unite parties riven asunder. And when I heard that, I thought, wow, okay, how do we do that? How do we unite people in a win-lose model? And, the collaborative law went some ways to doing that as well. And I thought, it's got to be done differently.
So in the 1980s, before collaborative law was created, or founded or discovered or whatever, I wrote something called the Serenity Space. And I thought that would do it. Because I said, close your mind and get a good feeling of love and get feeling inside of you and just be there, and you're just going to have everything you need. And if you get caught up, that's the one space, serenity space, love. The other space is fear, or I called it the insecurity space. And that's we flash in. So I'm talking to somebody who thinks it's in here, and they're flashing back and forth. So I said, so if you find yourself in the insecurity space, here's how you get back. And so I told you here's how you get back to it. And be aware if you feel yourself slipping from love into fear, remember, catch yourself. So I thought, that'll solve it. But I didn't know at that time that when you're in duality, you can't hold it. You can't hold just be the happy space all the time.
Yeah.
That's used to be the old, oh, yeah, everything. And
la, 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 sparkles and unicorns. Yeah.
and what's happened in the world, and I was a victim of this myself, I'm a recovering alcoholic. And when I lost I had about 22 weeks in the world, but I was into consciousness.
Yeah.
And I thought this was 50, 60 years ago. I thought, I'll never lose it. It's wonderful. And then this great teacher, Ram Dass, says, if you think you're enlightened, spend a week with your family.
Family, yeah, at Christmas. Yeah, that's the best saying ever, isn't it?
What happened, and I lost it.
Oh.
And I went searching for it. I went searching. And the Course in Miracles says, it says, the ego says, seek, but do not find. From the ego, we're looking. No, you can't get there from there. You get there from surrendering into this higher space. That the love is greater, is primary. Love is everything.
Yeah.
And we are a part of everything.
And it's a family that is, as Ram Dass also says, is grist for the mill. Because when you sit with them and you experience them, rather than fight with them or run from them or drink yourself stupid near them, if you are with them and see, oh, this is how you feel, this is how it all feels, then you're actually having the experience that you're meant to have there. Because this is what humanity is doing. We're running from everything that's uncomfortable. Just stop it. I think that's what COVID did. It shut everyone in. Now you have to experience yourself. I think a lot of people didn't like it.
When we think it's inside of our brains, and we get a space where, for example, let's take jazz artists. When they're playing, even though when they're in their head, they're playing, they're high. They love it. They're feeling, they're improvising. The music is coming from inside of them, and they love it. Yeah. Now, when they're not playing, when they think it's inside, they're caught up in their fear, their worries, and so forth. So they start taking drugs. They start drinking. When I was all depressed and losing that, wondering where I was, and I couldn't find my consciousness again, I started drinking. Of course, drinking more and more.
Relief. It gives you relief.
And when I loved law school, when I came back into law after that, oh my God, I was down in the doldrums with everybody. Yeah. And so I was drinking, to help me get over this. And the drinking worked for a while.
Yeah.
And then it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, that's it.
Then you start getting sick and bad.
And I think there's a guilt that runs with that as well. Why do I need this to feel better? I mean, you go straight to it, like chocolate. There's a beautiful bar of chocolate. I think I'll just eat the whole packet of biscuits or whatever it is, because that gives me relief. But I know when I'm finished it, I'm going to have that guilt. And it's because I know I'm looking out there somewhere for what's the resolution is within, and I have to feel it. I have to sit in and acknowledge what I'm feeling and genuinely feel it. I am all that is. So all that is belongs with me. And as children, we were told, and this is my favorite thing, and I see it in family law, is boys don't cry as a rule that was given to boys. Be tough, toughen up, be brave. Girls, don't get angry. Be a nice girl. Don't assert yourself. You just be pretty, or whatever it is that girls should be. So we're carrying these rules with us. And those rules, of course, means we're disconnecting from a part of us, where particularly boys, for example, is don't grow up your emotion. You're stuck at 3 years old when you're told don't cry, for example. And then so this little boy can't actually grow up and with the experience of what sadness is really like. So it'll play out in other ways in life because he hasn't been able to connect with that.
Now, Virginia,
and this is why it's important.
What you're talking about now is if you are not in your higher consciousness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you can't be.
So we don't need to talk a lot about, everybody knows what their life is like when they go up and down, in and out, up and down. And we're trying to show them that there is a way of living that is almost magical, you know?
Yeah.
And
It is.
that's what we really are talking about, is that our natural state is love.
Yeah.
And so we each could tell horrible stories of what our life is has been like. And
the beautiful part about that, though, is accepting it rather than pushing it away.
Accept the waves and stay in the ocean.
That's it. Exactly. Yeah, that's right. Just be that, because that's who you are, and that's okay. It's all perfect. It's all okay. But people, I think, we use a legal system to blame somebody else in general terms, to say, you did this to me. But the thing is, no one does anything to you. It's your reaction to them.
I want people to know that this place we're talking about is this far. Where is it? Where's my finger?
I can't see it.
Just a paper width away from where you are now. That thin. That thin. It means just seeing that there is something that you are that is greater than your little self.
Yeah.
And that is shifting your consciousness. Just saying, instead of believing that my brain is doing it and listening to the neuroscientist, just shifting outside and say, oh, it's greater than me. And that was a learning from AA, Alcoholics Anonymous. Believe that something is greater than you. A God that you understand him or her or it. Or
whatever, all of the above, tick E.
And all religions, in my view, are limited.
They've got rules.
Goal, but they have put limits. It's open. It's free. It's just
you don't need somebody to connect you to that power. You don't need someone to go through to connect to that power. You connect to it yourself.
You don't need a mediator in between.
No. And if you don't eat fish on Fridays or whatever it is, or all the other rules, and most modalities have these sorts of rules about them, like you must do this to get to enlightenment, which means cast away the darkness and sit in the light or be in love. No, there's no rules about it. It's just be it. No one's got a monopoly on it. It's just who you are.
That's right. And you see, I've been in a group for about 40 years with 6 or 7 other people, and they're all caught up in their minds. And I can't fix them. I try to say something. They say, you son of a bitch, you think you're smarter than I am. You think you're better than I am. I said, no, let's try. But you can't fix anybody else, but you can send them love.
Yeah. You be the example, be the change. I love that whole concept as well. Just be a model of what you think life should be like. And then if people think, gee, you're having a good life over there, what are you doing? Well, I dropped all the rules about myself or what I should be. I've come back to my authentic self. My authentic self is love. I sit in love. I don't have any shoulds or obligations or anything. You can't say, Virginia, you should be this, because I shouldn't be anything. I should just be.
Yeah. So I want everybody to know that I can't help them. I can't fix them. And sometimes we shout too much. Sometimes we shout it and we want to force it into take this round pole and pound it into a square slot, and and we can't do that. So people say, "Oh my God, you're trying to make it. You're trying to make us do something." So they resist it. So you just say, "No, you don't do that." You have to just be relaxed, and so sometimes I get the problem with going to AA. When I was going to AA, is that people would tell their stories of sad stories, and they just get caught up in the sadness of their story. And I tend to think.
I hear what you say there, absolutely, because this is what's happening in the world right now. I've said in this country of mine, where we've got sexual assault victims. Everyone's focusing on victim. So of course, when you do that, you create a placeholder for that negative energy of victim, rather than, oh, that was a life experience I had. Yes, some actions could be corrected and all sorts of other things there, but stop focusing on that energy, because it keeps creating the energy of that negativity.
So if you find out that you wrestle back and forth between love and fear, you think, even without knowing it, you think that you're separate from everybody else, and you have this separate consciousness. And it's not true. It's not true. It's fake news.
Yep, that's so true. That's true.
So you just have to say, "Oh, all I have to do is change my belief about that, and shift into a belief that something is more powerful. Some part of me that I don't know about is more powerful than what I think I am."
It is all your belief system, isn't it?
Yes,
it is whatever you believe to be true is true.
There's this wonderful man that wrote the book Man's Search for Meaning. He was a Jewish in the Holocaust.
Okay.
And he discovered that he had something more powerful than who he was, and he survived, and other people gravitated with him and picked up on where he was feeling, and they survived the Holocaust too. And so he wrote this beautiful book called Man's Search for Meaning. Now, when we're caught up with thinking our heads in here, we read something, we just read it. Oh, that's nice. That's nice stuff. Nice stuff. That doesn't mean anything. So I've got this word that I use from an old science fiction book called grok, G-R-O-K. And what we're talking about here, we want you to grok this.
Yeah,
we want you to understand what we're saying, not just a bunch of bullshit we're putting out here. But we're saying,
I can add that to my thing, I think.
I want you to get it. Just get the understanding that consciousness is more primary, is bigger than you are. And you are more powerful than you have any idea who you are.
Yeah, that's beautiful. That is so true. If people could just understand the power that they hold, that is available to them right now, without anything else, it would be so amazing. And being the example, as you say, is the way to go. Be the example of what that looks like for people. You're holding that energy for them. Yeah, you can't fix someone. It's like the cut on your arm. The doctor might put a Band-Aid on, but you heal yourself. And that's the way I see it too.
So Virginia's job and other people are coming forward now. I just talked to a woman in South Africa who is a compatriot of ours, and all of a sudden she's speaking the same language, and she's got a love your lawyers thing. It's not just lawyers, but it's that we have all healing professions. I love the coaches. And a friend of mine who's a coach in the United Kingdom, she has higher consciousness. She and 3 other women formed this group of coaches around the world a year ago. There is now over 1,000 coaches on this team, and they have Zooms from around the world. And their idea is that they're fighting climate change because climate change comes from inequality. And what better group than the coaches to hold the space for people to say,
It's amazing, isn't it? There's a beautiful times we're in. I think they're beautiful times.
You're caught up in the waves.
In closing, do you have any tips for any lawyers out there, Stu, that they might be able just to bring a little bit of love into their legal practice? Just regular practitioners doing their day job. What would you say to them?
What would I say with them?
Yeah. What is there a tip that you can give someone just to bring into their regular legal practice that helps lighten their day or that of their client?
I would say the same thing we're talking about for everybody here, to make this shift. If they make the shift, then they don't have to worry about anything. And I don't know if people don't understand that when you do this shift, speaking for myself now, I don't have any worries. I don't have any depression. I don't have any concerns. But I would like other people to be able to do this because I can see that this is what's going to save the planet. And I'm now so much into quantum mechanics that I know that it's happening anyway.
It is.
Because with quantum mechanics, it all happens now.
Yeah.
And if you're in the now, it happens now. Now you wait to see what's going to happen. Because in this is weird. In quantum mechanics, this physicist tells me everything happens at the same time.
Same time. That's right. And everything happens at the same time.
So the purpose of creating time is to spread it out. Yes. So you can see what happened in the past, and you can see what's happening now. And you don't know what's going to happen in the future yet, but you can start creating that by
living now. That's right. By living now.
By being loved now, then you have to wait to watch it show up.
Yeah.
So really what you're doing and I are really doing here is we're waiting for it to show up for you. So listen, don't mess around with us anymore. Just do it,
Yeah, that's right. Just be in love and that's it. Full stop. End of story. We've got good advice. Yeah, I love it. I absolutely love it. And that's so true. We're always concerned about the future, but you can't worry about the future. It's how you're feeling right now that dictates your options for the future. It's all now.
Well, the other thing is, that if you worry about something, you're betting it's not going to work out. Mm-hmm. You're betting on the wrong side.
Yeah. Yeah, you've got that negative energy about it, haven't you? Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and you're a great creator. Everybody's, they talk about manifestation, but everybody is manifesting something all the time.
That's right. You're betting on one side or the other. When you get caught up in the fear, you're putting your energy on that it's going to be terrible.
That's it.
It's going to be terrible.
That's right. And it's going to be exactly what you wanted. You said it's going to be terrible. It'll be terrible. Yeah. Excellent work. You're a great creator.
But you can't just shift to the love side of that duality because the other one rises up. When you have a scale, you put something on one side of the scale, the other side comes up. That's why we hear all this stuff. That's in the United States, all the stuff about Trumpism, stuff.
Yeah.
It all came up because we started doing more love. But fear is more visual than love. Love is quiet.
Yeah.
It's
subtle and gentle.
Another way of talking about the love that Virginia's talking about, and we're talking about, is a congruence between head and heart. And that's the heart math stuff. If you want to do a little research on heart math, you see here, you hold this congruence between your mind and your heart. But keep in mind, you got to have the feeling in your body too. You can't just have it. Now, I have friends that talk a lot about, I'm a peacemaker. But that's talking from the outside. That's important to do that, but it's only talking inside out, talking from the outside in. I am a peacemaker.
Yeah.
But inside, the love comes from inside. I am love, or I am a peacemaker.
Yeah.
It takes both sides of the same coin.
It does, doesn't it? It so
And
does. And I was having a bit of a giggle when I was looking on Facebook with the Trump-Biden situation. Of course, I'm not in America, but the hate from my spiritual friends, all this hate coming out. I thought, wow, this is when these people could look in their mirror and think, why am I saying these hateful words? That's not bringing love into the planet. And having compassion for another, and not agreeing with the actions of others necessarily, but saying, I see what you're doing. I have compassion for you because you are seeing things from a perspective, and your perspective is valid. So what I have is compassion for your action, and then can we work from there because we've discharged the negative energy about it.
you got it.
And I was so amazed. I was amazed. But there you
The
go.
other thing, you may not want to hear this, but if you
tell me,
there's a great book called The Untethered Soul.
Yes, I've
and the
read
first
that.
4 chapters of it talk about getting into who am I?
Yeah.
Am I this person, Stu Webb? That's just a name. Well, I'm a lawyer. Oh yeah, but that's just something you do. Gets you back to who you are in your basic who you are. Now, if you find yourself in that other space, they can ask you some questions. For example, do you have a gender? No. Do you have a race? No. Do you have an age? No. Do you have a weight? No. Wow.
There's not much about you, really, is there? You're a whole lot of nothing. That's it. I think that's funny. And it's so true. That's the truth of the matter. If we just stopped and knew that we were all this nothing. There's a lot of space going on.
Yeah.
And that is probably, if I'm going to, explain things to people, it's now understanding that we are energy more than physical. It's understanding that concept. So if we can look at things from that point of view to say, this is all energetic. It's all about physics. It's basically physics. Everything is physics. And if we look at it from the energetic point of view, then we can have a look at, oh, okay, I see why now. I see why that is happening. Now, we're not going to know a lot of this stuff from, it's so
And you don't
big.
have to figure any of that out.
No, you just feel it.
Because all you have to do is just be joyful and just be kind to people. And it's amazing, if we actually did live our lives from the golden rule, instead of thinking that some religious bullshit, that passed on, that if we handled our love of other people like we wanted to be loved ourselves, that's what golden rule is.
Yeah, I know.
Just back and forth. Just be love. Be kind.
People seems to misinterpret that golden rule as, do unto others. Like, you didn't treat me well, so you didn't do unto me. And that's right. Exactly. That's what negligence is. That's a tort. And I'm going to sue you. No, people. Let's love self first. Yeah, love self. Because people don't know what loving self means. It's not conceited. It's nothing to do with conceit. It's about understanding that this is all perfect at any given moment. It is
a feeling of loving regard. I've got this great mantra that passed down to me with some of my teachers. It says, I'll say this for me, but it really says it to every one of you. I am a center of expression for the prime will to good, which eternally creates and sustains the universe. Wow. I am a center. We are each a center of expression of the prime will to good that eternally sustains and creates the universe, or creates and sustains, I suppose.
Yeah. Is that the same as saying, yeah, God is expressing itself through us?
Yeah. Well, yeah. And we are expressing that because we are each a part of this.
Yeah, that's
We
beautiful.
are.
I like that. I haven't heard of that before.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We are.
that's cool.
There's a great book called You're the Universe. We are the universe. We are each the universe.
Yeah, I think if people,
like,
I think
it
the beautiful thing,
sounds like a paradox.
it's all a paradox.
Somebody just sent me this. My friend of mine sent me this.
It's exquisite paradox. As soon as you give it up, you have it all. That's right. That's what I try and say to people.
The most exquisite paradox. As soon as you give it up, you can have it all.
You have it all. That's right. This is the funny thing. We're all striving, but you don't realize as soon as you say, just let it go, let everything go. That's what happened to me. Just let it all go. I just don't care. I don't care. Let it all, get it off me. Let it go. I don't want anything anymore. Kill me. I don't care. And then from that moment was the moment that, oh, wow, that's all that's left. And actually that grew. That then what existed after that grew to realize, gee, when you don't want anything, then you have it all. It's absolutely crazy.
My problem is that I can't just let it go. If I could just let it go, I wouldn't have to show up here with Virginia. Not that I would want to do that.
But I think it's the worries. Yeah, letting the worries go, letting the attachment go. Things that I think I have to have this to be somebody or something. You know, it's just, no, you don't. You don't have to have anything to be something. You are it. You are the love.
That's right. That's right. And when I was as a practicing Buddhist, I took a vow. I took what we call the Bodhisattva vow. And the Bodhisattva vow is that I will stay centered in this earth until everybody gets it.
Wow. How's that working out for you?
That's my vow.
That's funny. I love that. Okay. That's a beautiful thing to end on, Stu. We're running out of time. So thank you so much for that wisdom today. I love that. And it's about love, and I love you.
I love you too.
Yeah, and we love talking about love, and the more we say it, the more it's going to be infused into the planet, I'm sure. So that's my job, is to go around just saying love a whole lot. So thank you so much for being with us today. And anybody else that wants to connect in with Lawyers for Love here, the link's down below, and we'd love to have you aboard. Take good care. Bye now. Bye. Bye.
Bye-bye. Love you.
Love you. Bye.